This is homework set 5, linear equations, and we're going to work through questions 11, 12, and 13. Question 11, let's eliminate these parentheses. We'll use the distributive property, so let's multiply through by 2. So that'll give us 2y. Oh, let's do this in white. Okay, so we'll get 2y and then plus 6. Now, distribute that negative 3. I'll think of it as negative 3. It's really minus 3, but think of it as negative 3. So as I do this one, I'll get negative 3 times y and negative 3 times positive 3. So we're looking at now negative 3y, or minus 3y, and then negative 3 divided, negative 3 times positive 3 is negative 9. That's all equal to negative 5. Now, let's clean up this left side. How many y's do we have? I start with 2, then I lose 3. So 2 minus 3 is negative 1. So I have negative 1y. I'll just write negative y. And then constants, I've got a 6, and then I subtract 9. Well, 6 minus 9 is, that puts me at minus 3, equals negative 5. Now, let's do this. Let's add 3, right? So let's add 3. So I'm going to add 3. That's in my head. So I'm going to get negative y. Negative 3 plus 3 will give me to 0. That's gone. Equals, I'm adding 3. So what do we have over here? Negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Now, this is close to what we want, but not quite. I can read this two ways. I could read this as, the opposite of y is negative 2. So if the opposite of y is negative 2, y must be positive 2. I could think that way. Or I could think this way. Negative y equals negative 2. It's really negative 1 times y, right? We just don't write the 1s. Equals negative 2. Now if I divide by negative 1, I'll get negative 1y over negative 1 equals negative 2 over negative 1. Negative 1 and negative 1 is 1, so I'll get y equals, now, on this side, negative 2 divided by negative 1 is positive 2. So either way I do it, I end up with y equals 2. Now in 12, again, let's eliminate these parentheses. So I'm going to multiply through, right? What I'm going to do is I'm going to get 3 times y and then 3 times negative 3. So I will get 3y. 3 times negative 3, I'll think of it that way, is negative 9. Or actually, it's really minus 3 times 3 is 9. Now, here is a set of parentheses preceded immediately by a minus sign. So I'm going to just drop them, but change the sign of everything inside. So the 4y will become negative 4y or minus 4y, and positive 5 will become, I'll get a minus 5, a negative 5, equals, now, multiply through here. We'll get 9y plus 15, and I still have that plus 11 out there. Now, let's tighten these things up. On the left side, what have we got? I got 3 y's and then minus 4y. So I'm up 3, I lose 4, I'm down 1, so how about negative y, or minus y? And then constants, negative 9 minus 5. So I'm down 9, I lose 5 more, now I'm down 14, equals, now over here, there's just 9 y's, right? I don't have any more y's, but I do that 15 and 11, which is plus 26. Now I've got y's on both sides. I think what I'm going to do is get all the y's on the side where I have more y's already. Now, on the left side, I'm down 1. On the right side, I'm up 9. So I got more y's over here. So let's get all the y's on the right side. That means we have to eliminate this one. Well, we're down 1, so why don't we add 1? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a y. So I'll go ahead and write it. So I'm going to get negative y plus y minus 14 equals 9y. Now add a y plus 26. So those y's go out. That's a 0. So I get negative 14 equals, almost had it here, 10y plus 26. Now, let's eliminate the 10 and the 26. So what I do, I multiplied by 10, then I added 26. So I'm going to subtract that 26. So I'll get negative 14 minus 26 equals 10y plus 26 minus 26. So this brings us to where? That brings us to negative 6 minus 14 is negative 40 equals 10y. That's gone. And now divide by 10. So negative 40 divided by 10 is negative 4, and that's equal to y. All right, so I'll actually even write it so it's readable. Negative 4 is equal to y. Now, in number 13, we've got one set of parentheses preceded by a minus sign or a negative sign. Here's another set of parentheses preceded by a minus sign, and yet another set of parentheses preceded by a minus sign. So we're going to do the same thing in all three cases. We'll drop the parentheses and change the sign of every term inside. So that 3y will become minus 3y, the minus 1 will become plus 1, the 5y will become minus 5y, and the minus 4 will become plus 4, equals, now the negative 2 is just there by itself, but over at the last term, that 3y will become minus 3y, and the plus 3 will become minus 3. Now, let's count these y's. So on the left side, negative 3y minus 5y, that's negative 8y, right? Negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. And constants, I've got a 1 and 4 more, that's a 5. And on the right side, looks like I've got a negative 2 minus 3y and negative 3. I'm going to write the y first. I just like to write the variables first. So negative 3y, and then negative 2 minus 3, down 2, lose 3, we're down 5. Now, let's get these y's on one side. I've got them on both sides. Typically, I like to get the y's on the side on which I have the most already. Now, on the left side, I'm down 8. On the right side, I'm down only 3. So in a sense, I've got more over here. So I'm going to eliminate these over here. So let's eliminate these. So what I'm going to do, I'm down 8, so I'm going to add 8. So I'm going to add 8y. Right? I'm thinking that's what I'm going to do. So I'll go ahead and write this. It's negative 8y plus 8y plus 5 equals negative 3y plus 8y minus 5. Now, minus 8y plus 8y, that's 0. That's gone. So I get 5 equals, now, negative 3y plus 8. 8 minus 3 is a 5y minus 5. All right, let's do this. Let's add 5, right? So I'm going to add that. So just do it in your head. Now, if I add 5, over here, 5 plus 5 is going to give me a 10, equals, now if I add it over here, negative 5 plus 5 is 0. That's gone. So I just get that 5y now. One more step. Let's divide by 5. So 10 divided by 5 is a 2. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So I just get y is equal to 2. And that closes out our discussions of questions 11, 12, and 13 and homework set 5.